Artificial intelligence isn't just changing what we do at work. It's changing how we feel about work itself. Today, nearly 8 out of 10 employees say their organization already uses AI, and more than half admit they rely on it every single day to get their tasks done. The studies from the University of Melbourne and KPMG confirm this growing trend. According to McKinsey & Company, about 13% of employees now depend on AI for over 30% of their work, a number that's much higher than most managers even realize. But here's the real question. Why does AI matter for motivation? At first, it sounds great. AI helps us work smarter, not harder, freeing us from repetitive tasks so we can focus on what's meaningful and engaging. In fact, research from the London School of Economics shows that employees using AI can save the equivalent of a full workday every week, roughly 7.5 hours. But there's a flip side. If AI starts replacing the most stimulating parts of our jobs, the tasks that make us feel creative, challenged, and alive, then motivation doesn't rise, it drops. Our team of investigative social scientists set out to answer a big question. How does AI really impact work motivation? We wanted to explore both sides of the story, the good and the not so good. Can AI boost engagement by taking over tedious, repetitive tasks? Or does it risk lowering motivation by isolating employees and taking away the parts of their work that are the most stimulating and rewarding? To tackle this question, we took a mixed method approach. We began by diving into the literature to understand the theories behind motivation, AI literacy, and the emotional impact of AI in the workplace. Then we spoke directly with professionals working in AI-driven environments, gathering their stories and insights about what daily life really looks like when AI is part of the workflow.
To understand how AI impacts work motivation, we looked closely at 4 key sources. First, let's talk about intrinsic motivation. Fishbach and Woolley studied how enjoyment drives engagement. They observed students in a library and found that the time students spent studying was predicted not by the importance of the material, but by how interesting they found it. Some students spent hours on topics they found stimulating, even if they weren't graded heavily, while others rushed through tasks they considered dull, regardless of their importance. In the workplace, this suggests that if AI automates tasks that employees find engaging, motivation can drop. Conversely, companies can increase intrinsic motivation by pairing tasks with small, enjoyable elements. For example, music, short breaks, or social interaction, which has been shown to boost persistence and performance by up to 20% in similar settings. Second, the study on AI collaboration and emotional resources gives a concrete, quantified example. In a vignette experiment with 167 participants, employees working closely with AI but with low leader support reported loneliness scores averaging 3.71 out of 5, while those with high leader support averaged only 2.05. Loneliness then strongly predicted emotional fatigue, which in turn increased counterproductive behaviors. This shows that leadership can significantly buffer the negative emotional effects of AI. Third, generative AI literacy, or GAIL, shows how competence drives engagement. Employees were evaluated on 5 dimensions: basic AI operation, prompt optimization, content evaluation, innovative application, and ethical awareness. Those with higher GAIL scores reported significantly higher job performance, with creative self-efficacy partially mediating the effect. For example, employees able to design prompts and evaluate AI-generated content felt confident tackling complex tasks and reported up to 15 to 20% higher performance scores than those with basic AI skills. Finally, research on Gen AI and education shows that context is key. Across 72,615 students in China, 64.5% reported using Gen AI for learning, mostly for organizing and writing tasks. In high challenge, high support courses, students' cognitive engagement scores increased by 12%, and emotional engagement, like self-efficacy, rose by 8%. But in low support or easier courses, behavioral engagement and motivation decreased by 5 to 7%, showing that AI can sometimes displace active effort. Translating this to the workplace, a yes AI can boost motivation when tasks are challenging and employees are supported, but may reduce engagement in simpler or overly guided tasks. Now that we've explored how AI impacts motivation, through key theories and scientific studies conducted by researchers like us, let's move on to the voices of those who experience it every day. Professionals working in AI-driven environments.
So I think AI really helps employees because when they don't know how to do a task, for example, when they receive a mail from a client and they don't know how to react, they can ask AI to make them like a template of a mail they can send to the client, or where they have like a complicated task. For example, yesterday, my new employee, he didn't know how to use Adobe to make the designs to send to the supplier, and so he asked ChatGPT like how can I do this task, like, and so it really helped us on the like very difficult tasks.
Est-ce que ça renforce la motivation? Oui. Est-ce que ça aide les équipes à aller plus vite? Je sais pas trop, ça dépend. Mais surtout, c'est un nouveau outil, ce qu'on appelle la next gen, qu'on doit apprendre à utiliser et qu'on doit mettre en place.
I think it's the opposite, like AI really helps solving problems. For example, when I need to send like very difficult contracts with low related contracts, I don't know what to do, so I just ask ChatGPT to help me write them. Or for example, when I don't have any creativity, like I don't feel creative anymore, I can ask ChatGPT or AI to help me make designs or to send me prompts where I can use like a new styles and stuff like that. So I think it really helps with motivation, like when you don't know what to do, when you feel you want to procrastinate on some tasks, you can ask AI to help you with that, and I think AI really boosts my business and I think it helps with creativity and motivation.
Sur la partie maintien en condition opérationnelle, sur cette partie-là où il faut suivre par exemple des applications en production, et notamment l'IA, elle nous a aidé sur la gestion des incidents et notamment la gestion et la réponse de la première partie d'un incident, donc le recueil des informations et donner des premières pistes d'analyse. Donc nous, on a gagné beaucoup de temps sur ça.
People's perception of AI really depends on where they're from. In some countries, like in parts of Asia, AI is seen as a big opportunity. But in others, like France, it's often viewed more as a threat to jobs. There's not really a clear generational divide, though. Whether people are open to or afraid of AI doesn't have much to do with age.
On a observé que certaines personnes, elles peuvent utiliser un peu trop l'intelligence artificielle sans se rendre compte des risques et sans se rendre compte que l'intelligence artificielle, elle a aussi un taux d'erreur qui peut mettre en péril le projet. Donc, on va dire sur l'évolution de la motivation, oui, bien sûr, c'est quelque chose de stimulant, mais derrière, quand il y a des impacts, quand il y a des risques, la motivation, elle diminue. Surtout, notre rôle en tant que manager, c'est de leur expliquer les risques de l'IA et de leur expliquer les bonnes pratiques de l'utilisation de l'IA. Parce que dans une entreprise, il faut garder dans la tête qu'il y a des données sensibles, on ne peut pas les partager avec tout le monde, et surtout qu'on ne peut pas utiliser les IA en libre accès, tels que ChatGPT ou DeepSeek ou d'autres. Et surtout, il faut utiliser des IA qui sont gérées par l'entreprise ou des IA internes à l'entreprise aussi.
Companies like Orange, Siemens, and Carrefour have shown that AI can improve job satisfaction, highlight people's skills, and encourage innovation. But of course, there are also downsides. Fears about job loss, surveillance, or the dehumanization of work, like what's been seen at Amazon or Bank of America.
So, what can organizations actually do to keep people motivated in an AI-driven world? Our research suggests that it's not just about using AI, it's about how we use it. Managers can start by designing work that feels meaningful. When daily tasks are connected to a clear purpose and allow room for curiosity and enjoyment, intrinsic motivation grows. At the same time, preserving human connection is essential. As AI takes on more interactions, leaders must actively nurture empathy, emotional support, and collaboration within their teams. These elements sustain engagement and prevent the isolation that can come with automation. Another key factor is AI literacy. When employees understand and feel confident using generative AI tools, they're more likely to engage creatively and take ownership of their work. Finally, context matters. The effect of AI on motivation depends on how challenging tasks are and how much support employees receive. Introducing I thoughtfully can turn it from a source of stress into a catalyst for motivation. In the end, AI is not the enemy of motivation. It's a mirror of how we choose to work. Used wisely, it can free people to focus on what truly matters: creativity, connection, and purpose. The challenge for leaders isn't to replace the human element, but to amplify it, because the future of motivation will always be human, even in the age of AI. Thank you for listening, and feel free to reach out if you'd like to collaborate on our next study.